The Madden 24 soundtrack was revealed on Friday, and of course, like usual, social media had its fun ripping it apart. Why? Well, probably because it's awful. I'm gonna be frank with you, I actually don't know that for sure if it's awful. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I think we've all come pretty used to the Madden soundtrack really over the past 7-8 years just being awful. You have it muted within the first week of the game being out, and by then you're just listening to your Spotify playlist. Now, I'm not gonna lie like some people and say I don't know anyone on this soundtrack. Like, I know some of the artists featured: IDK, Jack Harlow, Wiz Khalifa, Denzel Curry. I'm not like an anti-rap music guy. Like, you see some people in these comment sections who like hate rap music, they don't want any rap music on the soundtrack. But I think you compare this to past soundtracks, even going back to Madden 16, a game that kind of had a meh soundtrack, and all things considered, it's really night and day when you look at Madden 16 and Madden 24, where something's just gone wrong on how they put these together. Madden 16 featured The Weeknd, 21 Pilots, X Ambassadors, and MS and NF, to name a few. What's something you notice on that list? A diverse sound. Was it maybe a little light in rap music? Sure, so let's see what they did for Madden 17. Madden 17 featured 2 Chainz, Steve Aoki, Logic, Blake Shelton, Flo Rida, Flux Pavilion, Pusha T, and Lil Wayne. I think that's a pretty good mix of things, all things considered. Even if you're not a fan of, Blake Shelton or anything like that, it kind of comes close to reminding me of Maddens of old. Madden 06, Madden 07. Does this keep up in Madden 18, you might ask? Well, the Madden 18 soundtrack, I think was not that bad, actually. I think it was pretty good. Had Action Bronson, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar, Calvin Harris, Vic Mensa, Meek Mill, Steve Aoki, Logic, Playboy Cardi, and even Travis Scott. Now, granted, do you notice anything with that? No rock music, no alternative music, no country music, nothing really too poppy either. I believe the only rock alternative song that was on this was from Imagine Dragons. Now, I can't blame EA too much. This soundtrack did have some heavy hitters, so did they get it right the following year, Madden 19? Well, Madden 19 I think might have been the start of where these soundtracks were basically exclusively rap music. Now again, it was a lot of big hitters. It was Cardi B, Post Malone, Migos, A$AP Rocky, YG, Anderson .Paak, but if you maybe wanted a few pop, rock, country, or even alternative tracks to kind of break up the monotony, you're out of luck here. I'm not even going to go through Madden 20, 21, 22, 23, or even 24. These are all soundtracks that pretty much exclusively feature rap music. Now, what's worse is they eventually stopped featuring tracks from rappers of note. I think that's really where a lot of people kind of angry. You look at this most recent one, it's a lot of like, who is this? Not like necessarily like, I would say, boomer, like, oh, who is this Post Malone guy? I don't, not like that. More than just like, literally, like, who is this guy? I've never heard of this dude. Now let's go all the way back to a game I mentioned earlier, Madden 06. That soundtrack had, now remember, this is from 2005, so these artists for 2005 were big deals. Some of you kids might not recognize some of the names on here, but I promise you in 2005, these were pretty major contemporary artists of the time. The All-American Rejects, Avenged Sevenfold, Bullet for My Valentine, The Foo Fighters, Fall Out Boy, Chamillionaire. You probably don't believe me, he was a big deal for a little bit. I promise you he was. Trust me on this. Memphis Bleak, Papoose, Slim Thug, and Tech 9. That's a really diverse soundtrack. I could say the same things for Madden 07, 08, 09, and 10. These are soundtracks that people actually go back and listen to almost 20 years after these games have come out. People still listen to these today. It's honestly kind of strange that it feels like now very little effort goes into picking these soundtracks. It's just kind of insane, like little effort goes into it now, but these soundtracks of the past, people feel very strongly about, and they have a lot of reverence for these soundtracks. But, what if you didn't like some of that stuff, right? Were there people out there who didn't like everything that was on these soundtracks? Absolutely. That's, what I mean? Music is really subjective. I'm sure there's someone out there who looks at this Madden 24 soundtrack and goes, this is awesome. I disagree with that person, but that's their opinion. It's fair for them to have that. So, in the past, you know what you did if you didn't like the soundtrack? You didn't like the options they had? The classic, always in style NFL Films music by Sam Spence. And not only did they have the classic music by Sam Spence that littered those classic NFL films back in the day, they even had remixes of those songs. Modern, but a very respectful flair was added to these classic songs. As of course my phone goes off. These tracks, these remixes by DeRiff and all these songs by Sam Spence, I think all these other songs really made those Maddens special. I think the kids call it, you guys call it vibes. Well, these games had immaculate vibes. You listen to these tracks and it really and it takes you back to playing these games. I mean, it takes you back to playing Madden 06, playing Superstar mode. It just, in the summer, getting hyped for football, playing these games, listening to this classic music, and really just all the music I mentioned before. I mean, Madden, these soundtracks from Madden 06, 07, 08, 09, these soundtracks shaped, I think, the taste of music I have now. I don't think anyone's gonna have I really don't think anyone's gonna be talking about the Madden 24 soundtrack with the way I'm talking about the Madden 06 soundtrack. Think about that, a soundtrack from 2005. I went back, I listened to it when I was typing this video out, and I was like, this is awesome. Listening to some of those tracks again. Is anyone gonna do that when Madden 42 is coming out? Everyone's like, this Madden 42 soundtrack's kind of trash, but you know what soundtrack was awesome? Madden 24. Maybe there might be a few people like that, but I really don't think there's gonna be a lot of people like that. I don't think anyone's gonna really be nostalgic for the Madden 20 soundtrack. I don't think anyone's gonna be nostalgic for the Madden 21 soundtrack. I don't think that's gonna be a thing. Like I said, though, no disrespect to the artists who are featured in Madden 24. I'm sure it's a cool dream for them to actually come true, that a song that they made is in a Madden game. And it probably sucks that all of us are just trashing on it for them. I'm sure they put in a lot of hard work and things like that, but it's just not what we want. Like many, I'll be muting the Madden 24 soundtrack day one and just listening to my own music on Spotify. The sad part is I shouldn't have to, and it used to be so much better. Now, I know that I typed out this whole video and everything like that, and I know someone is going to type out, don't you think Madden has more important things to focus on, like the gameplay? Yes, we all know that. Thanks for figuring that out for us, Detective Dick Tracy. We all appreciate it. But I think what makes those Madden games in the past so classic and so revered is not only did you have great fun gameplay, great fun modes to play, you also had great music to listen to while you played these games. Music that you can listen to today, music that you go back and listen to today, artists that you like today. When I was a kid, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm not we don't really listen to a lot of like alternative type of music out here. That's not what I was presented with as a kid. I was mostly presented with rap music as a kid. I played these games. That's how I found bands like the All American Rejects, Funeral for a Friend. Just all these different bands that I probably would have never listened to if I didn't play Madden games. These games, crafted my musical taste. I know that, again, this sounds like really minor, but I don't think it is. I think it's just something that I think EA kind of just forgets about. I think they just kind of take for granted that people will just like, yeah, whatever, put whatever on there. It's crazy to me that we live in a day and age where NBA 2K has a more diverse soundtrack than a NFL football game. That is just crazy. I mean, now, is the 2K soundtrack, is it majority rap music? Yeah, it's basketball. It should be, but at the same time, those soundtracks still have rap or rock music. They have alternative music. They have music from different countries. They have, it's all these things that I think just really make 2K sort of this cultural game that Madden used to be. Madden used to be this sort of cultural force video game, and they're kind of not anymore. I know they're trying to get that back, but it's just strange to me that they've kind of forgotten some of the important things. You know, they've sort of remembered some of that. Franchise mode has gotten better in the past few years. Looks like Superstar mode is going to be better. Can we get the soundtrack to be better a little bit while I'm playing this game and I'm listening to music? Maybe I don't have to listen to my own music. I can just listen to the Madden soundtrack. I think that'd be pretty nice. So, thanks for watching this one. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. What do you think? What's your favorite Madden soundtrack? What's your favorite song from a previous Madden soundtrack? Do you like this current soundtrack? Do you hate this current soundtrack? Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.